Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of my Dottie B Vintage Advent of Stitchery project. So this is week one that I'm starting with. So I've chosen all my fabrics. I think I showed you these last time. So this one is holly. So I chose that fabric for holly, and then I've attached it to the cotton calico fabric and just done a blanket stitch in a beautiful red thread. I've drawn on here some words that I want to put on. So I've got Deck the Halls, which I think I'm going to stitch over in this one. I think I quite like that one. I've got these ones out as well just because this print has got a really nice sort of mix of colours in it. I definitely want to go with the kind of greeny blue rather than red, because obviously we've got a lot of that red all around the edge, and at the end of the day holly is green, isn't it? So we've got holly. I've got some little beads there that I pulled from my stash. I know these aren't holly leaves, but I thought it looked quite cute. And then so I've written holly there. I'm going to stitch over that, and then I've got Deck the Halls, which I'm going to embroider. I think I am going to use that one. It's hard to know if the colours are coming out true on there. These are the ones I have. I'm just going to lift them up a little bit so you can see. Ooh, butterfingers. You see those? They're all very nice. But I think because we've got this, that one's too dark. That is green, but it's almost looks almost black or grey there. I do think these sort of tealy ones are nice, but I think I quite like the idea of this one. I'm going to use that one anyway. So for this little bit, I'm going to do a bit of a stitch along with you. I'm just going to work on this one at the moment. These are my other two. So this one was gifts, giving or presents. So I chose that fabric for that one, which is the cats with the little presents in the boxes. And then I've pulled out some fabrics so that I can make some presents. I think I'm gonna have this theme where this part of the altar is kind of one piece. So I'm gonna stack the presents and then put gift wrap on them, and then I'll find some other elements to go in these bits, whether it's words or little motifs. I've done that one in green. So I think, what green did I use for that one? I think, oh yeah, this is the green I used for that one. That's really nice. I don't know where these threads were from. They're really smooth. You can't separate them. They are one strand, but they're quite different to like these ones, the sort of perle cotton. So I've got quite a few Finker ones. They're just, I'm not sure, they're just lovely, really smooth, and they've got a nice sheen to them as well. The red that I used for round here is that one, and it's exactly the same. You can see those, it's exactly the same sort of thread. I'd love to know what it is because I'd really like to get more. You know, like the sort of these Finker ones or the anchor ones, I do like the pearl effect because you've got just the one thread, but it's just, these are just so smooth. They don't have that kind of ridge to them. But anyway, we'll see. So that's the green that I used with that one, and that's the red that I've used with that and these two as well. So yeah, with this one I'm gonna stack some presents going up, and then like I say, I'll decide on what I'm gonna fill these elements with. I really like that one. And then this one was peace, dove, bird. So I've chosen this dove fabric and then gone around the edge in the red stitching. And then I've got quite a few fabrics that I showed last time, and I remember saying that I could sort of fussy cut some of these things. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, because robin obviously is a bird and I thought that would be quite nice to use on that one, is I'm going to turn that into a stamp. So I'm going to put it on some backing fabric and use my pinking shears so it's got that kind of effect on the edge. And then again I will do different things in there. It feels good to have these made up though, so they're kind of ready to go. This one was Star Shine Bright, Star of Wonder, so I've chosen that star fabric for that one. It's like a ochre colour, but it's very goldy. It's not metallic, but it's got a really nice sort of goldy colour to it. So that's that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these 3 out of the way so that they've not got too much distracting us. And then I'm going to get on and start sewing with this one. So I think I will go with that. I mean, I guess I could use that as well. It's so hard, isn't it? Because I'm asking you and I need to, well, I don't need to, but I want to start this now. So no time to wait for the reply. Oh, I don't know now. It's just I might use, this is all I've got of this and it's all I've got of that. And I may use that for the edging. Do you know what? I'm not going to be able to use these on the edgings of all of the 25. So I might just use this one because at least these 4 will tie in together. Right, okay, decision made. And also it's nice and smooth, so it'll be nice for lettering. Because normally for lettering on words I'd probably use like the stranded thread. Let's have a look. Oh, don't tell me I've not got any scissors. This is my little sort of pencil casey thing that I use for I'm just using it as a pencil case at the minute, but I went to Collage Club the other day. This was a badge that I made when I was in Vicky Amer's workshops the other month in St Agnes. This is, well, this is where I live, so that's actually my house, and it was on a map that somebody shared on the local Facebook group. So yeah, so let's get this ready. Now what I need is a needle. Here we go. Right. Now what needle do I want? I'll use that one. So how are you guys? I hope you're well. How are you getting on with your advent of Stitchery? If you're taking part, I would love to know. I'd love to know what you're making. I know people are making various different things, from scrolls to bunting to panels. Some people are making some amazing things. So I'm just going to go in here between the layers so that my knot is hidden. I can get in there. Oh, I don't know, when the vision starts going, the eyesight when you get older. My normally I don't have an issue with up close. My issue is normally when I'm, what I need to make sure is that I don't go through the other side. I did think about doing this before attaching them to each other, but I kind of thought it would give it a bit more stability and it would help me to feel that I'm actually making progress. At least I've got my base down. Yeah, so we're talking about vision. I normally wear glasses for distance, but I have started recently to notice that I need it for when I'm like doing up close things. Sometimes the words look really small and I'm just like, I can't read that, what is going on? So I don't know if that's the beginning of me needing glasses for both. I don't wear glasses all the time. I don't feel like I need them all the time, but I do need them if I'm watching television, or if I go to the cinema, or if I was to drive. I don't actually drive. I can drive, but I just never have taken my test. I'm sure if you've been watching me before, you'll know that I used to live in London, and in London you really don't need a car. I know a lot of people do have a car, but you really don't need a car. Transport's very good. Transport is very readily available in lots of different forms: buses, trains, tubes. There's all kinds of ways to get around the city, you know, even sort of the outskirts as well. So yeah, it's just not something I've ever, and you know, now living down in Cornwall, I mean, a lot of people here are like, oh, they don't know how you can survive without a car. My partner does drive, and he's always, you know, we've always had a car as a household, but I just don't feel the need for it really. Also, I think you get a bit more nervous as you get older. So, as much as I would like to have that freedom where you can just, you know, because the village that we live in, there is a bus service, but it's every hour, and there are certain points in the day where you can't get the bus. There is no service for like a couple of hours, which is, it's normally around the times that I actually want to go out, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, you know, I just think in this day and age everything's so fast and readily available. I kind of appreciate the fact that, you know, things are a bit more slow and not so you know, go. It's kind of like you just have to be patient, and I like that. Any opportunity that calls you to be patient and not being so rushy and wanting immediate instant results. I think that's why I enjoy doing slow stitching as well. Most of my creative endeavours are, just checking we're not going through the other side. Most of my creative endeavours are, you know, slow and mindful and done with intention. That's how I like to be, and it really helps me. If I'm feeling the opposite of that, it really helps me to slow down. So you'll see. I don't know, I may do it one day, but it's just also expensive as well, isn't it? Having a car, running it, taxing it, you know, filling it up with petrol, you know, the potential of having an accident, or, you know, the roads around here are so narrow in parts. We live quite rural, but we're very near the coast as well. We're near two coasts actually. In fact, we're right near the end, so we're very close to St Ives and Penzance, kind of in the middle of the two, but I think we're a little bit closer to St Ives. This is so nice. It's funny, isn't it? Just relaxes you straight away. I think that was a good choice of colour, and it's nice and smooth. It's just gliding through. Anyway, talking about opportunities to be patient and slow down, I don't think I've had the chance to tell you, but we went to London last week for a few days because my partner was there for work, and I wanted to go and do, you know, my usual, go around Liberty, go to the haberdasheries, go and get inspired, galleries, exhibitions, go and see the Christmas lights and all the Christmas shops and all that kind of thing. So we went to stay with Gavin's parents the first night because they live just outside London. We left the car there, and I was supposed to go with his mum as well. She had a hospital appointment which ended up getting cancelled, so I didn't have to do that. So we went into London. Gavin went to work and I went to do my usual. I think I went straight to Liberty. And then I went and did some, you know, did some filming in there, the haberdashery, and the, you know, fabrics, yarns and trims, all of that sort of thing. So I've got a video ready to come out for that, and then also the Christmas shop. So I did that as well, which will be a separate video, which is almost ready to go live. But on that night, on that evening, we met in the evening to go and get some dinner and have a couple of drinks, and it was really nice. We went to Wagamama, which is somewhere that we both we both really like, and it's not something we can get in Cornwall, but it's like a, if you're not from the UK, it's like a Japanese restaurant, but it's a chain in sort of England. It's a chain. It's in most big towns, I would say. So we went there, had our little Wagamama fix, had a couple of drinks, and then headed back to the hotel with the intention of going to the shop on the way back to get some snacks and drinks for the room. And as we were going down the tube, or going down the steps to the tube station at Oxford Circus, actually I went to show Gavin as well where I used to work when I used to be a knitwear designer, so we did that. I felt all nostalgic and, you know, kind of like missing that part of my life and, you know, everything that came with it. And we went to go down to get on the tube, went down the steps, and it had been raining really heavy that evening as well. We also went to see the lights on Regent Street and did a bit of filming on there and took some pictures, which was beautiful. Always makes you feel Christmassy when you see that. But anyway, I digress. We were going down the stairs to the tube station, and on the very last 2 steps I slid down them and then landed on my bum right in the corner. So I was, you know, sort of had the wall next to me on the left, but I knew I'd really hurt myself. I'd hurt my ankle. I've sprained my ankle before, again in London when I used to live there, and I recognised the feeling, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. I remember saying this is not good. Anyway, people were very helpful. Gavin was with me as well, obviously. People were running over, you know, are you okay, you're okay? And I was like so embarrassed. I was like, yes, I'm fine. Will you be alright? Do you need any help? No. I was like, it's fine. Anyway, I knew I wasn't fine. It kind of winded me a bit. And then somebody that was working at the station came over, because I think one of the travellers that were, you know, sort of going down the stairs with us, they said, do you want us to get you some help? And I said no, but they did anyway, which was very kind of them. So this guy that works on the underground came over. He was so lovely, and he was like, do you need me to get some medical attention? I was like, no, honestly. I thought I thought I'd be okay. Anyway, managed to hobble home. I think he was even going to try and get us home some way, because he said, how far do you have to go? And we were like, only to Paddington Station. And we were like, we'll be fine, we'll just take it slowly. So we managed to, well, I managed to get down the station, because then from there it was only, you know, it was only sort of going down the escalator, so I didn't have to do a lot of walking really, which was quite good. We got to go into the shop, and then they were like closing the shop, so we were like, oh, it doesn't matter, we, you know, got a few bits anyway. We went back to the hotel room, and I asked Gavin if he'd get me some ice from down at the bar, so I could, you know, try and minimise any you know, risk of inflammation or swelling. It's appeared to work well, but it kind of wrote me off then for the rest of the trip. So the next day I wasn't able to go and do all the things that I wanted to do. There was a Jessie Chorley exhibition on. She was also doing a workshop in I think it was Southwark area, and I was, you know, that was my plan for the Friday, was to go there, and I couldn't go. I just couldn't go because I, you know, I couldn't walk. So basically what I'd done, well, I thought I'd like twisted or sprained my ankle on the left foot, but I'd also hurt my knee on the right leg. So walking around was nigh on impossible, even going to the toilet and finding, you know, a space to sit in the room where I could just be comfortable. I had to keep kind of moving around, so I was going from the bed to there was like a sofa and a chair, and I was just so uncomfortable. And obviously Gavin was there working, so on the Friday when I couldn't go and do all the things that I planned to do, I was going to go and film, you know, for Jessie Chorley experience and share it all on YouTube. And you know, I was really looking forward to seeing her work and meeting her and all that. And then I couldn't go, and I was just like, oh, I was getting so frustrated. And I wasn't sure if I needed to go to, you know, urgent care or get it checked over. But anyway, Gavin had to be at work on the Friday, so I was kind of left in the room. I was fine because I had like plenty to do when I started. I actually started drawing these shapes for these, my templates. There is a bit of footage of that actually, which I may add in at the end of this, but I'll see. It's not very, I sound a bit down, I think. When I recorded it, I was a bit fed up. But yeah, that was frustrating to say the least. Anyway, so we had work in the day, and then he was out for a little bit in the evening because they had, you know, like a team thing to do. And then I was like, I really want to try and get out when you come back and try and go and get some food. So we did try and do that when he got back. We went to go to a really fancied Indian, and it was round the corner, but there was no way that I was going to be able to walk there. So it took me so long to get downstairs. I was like shuffling along. I was like, I couldn't bend my knee properly. I could put weight on my foot, but it was very uncomfortable. But I thought, I can't just stay in this position all day. I'm just going to seize up. So anyway, long story short, we got a taxi. It was literally round the corner, like, it's ridiculous. But I think the taxi driver was like, are you okay? You sure you don't need to go to hospital? So we went to this Indian restaurant. I had really nice food, and it just made me feel better to get out of the room. And then the next day was Saturday, so he wasn't working then. So we sort of, we made our way to central London, and then we went to you know, get some food. I was just taking it really slowly. That looks like it says Dirk, doesn't it? D or dirt. I might have to go over this bit so it's more like a C. Oh dear. Dirk. Let me just get my fiction pen so I can see that. Dirk. Oh, actually, let me use a green because it's green anyway. Dirk the halls with boughs of holly. Deck. I have to go over that. Deck the halls. It still looks funny. Oh well. That's my handwriting anyway. So yeah, we did that, and then we slowly made our way back to his parents. We stayed there overnight, and then we made our way back to Cornwall on the Sunday. That was so uncomfortable being in the car for 6 hours. We did stop once for some food. I couldn't get out to go to the toilet or anything because it was just too far, and I made sure that I didn't drink too much liquid so that I wouldn't need to go. So I can't believe I made a trip all the way back to Cornwall without going to the loo. But anyway, we made it home, and then I was just so uncomfortable. It didn't do my leg or my ankle or my foot or my ankle or my knee any good at all being in the car for all that time, having my legs down. But you know, needs must. So we got home, we collected the cat and the dog from the kennels and cattery, and then just kind of sat and chilled. We got the fire on. I can't remember if we ate anything that evening or if we just had snacks. Can't remember. We got a, you know, lazy McDonald's when we were at the service station on the way driving back home. And I was just feeling a bit not really in the mood for anything particular. So yeah, and then went to bed. I made sure that I was putting lots of ice on my ankle. My knee wasn't too bad at that point, but as the days have gone on, the swelling has really come out. My foot is like an elephant's foot, and I've got so much bruising like around the side of my foot on both sides and above my ankle and my knee. I've got bruises around there. So I phoned 111, which in the UK is, we've got the NHS National Health Service. I phoned them. Sorry, I can't believe I'm using this whole time to talk about my fall. Went to the urgent care. They advised me to go to urgent care after me telling them what had happened and my symptoms. I went there, they did some x-rays. It was so difficult getting around. I saw 3 people that I knew while I was there. 1 person from where I work, and then there was the next patient, and then there was somebody from the place that I used to work before. It was just so weird. It's like you go, you know, from being in London where you can sort of go around and not see anyone you know, unless you're in, you know, the area that you live or work, to, you know, coming back to sleepy Cornwall and then seeing 3 people that you know all within, you know, the same time frame in a hospital in the A&E kind of area. Anyway, so they told me to rest as much as I can. I hadn't broken anything, but I badly sprained. I spoke to my boss, who is a nurse, and she was like, oh, sounds like you got like deep tissue damage. You need to, you know, it can be really painful and take time to heal. So I've not been able to go back to work. I only work part-time, but I work in a rehab unit in the NHS, rehab, neurological rehabilitation. So I run activities and things there for the patients, keep them occupied and sane and all the rest of it, help them do the things that they enjoy. So I'm not able to go back yet because my job is very much on my feet, and there's no way that I can be walking around and running around like I normally do. So I've been told to rest and, you know, allow myself to heal, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping to get lots of crafting in. I didn't really buy anything in London actually, which is quite a surprise. I mean, I couldn't afford to be honest, this time. I didn't really need anything, I just wanted to go for the inspiration. But I'm just so gutted that I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do, because they were, you know, they would have been so much fun. But I did enjoy the time I was there. I know that might sound a bit odd, but I really did enjoy it. Deck the halls, we're getting there, aren't we? I'm just going to finish this little bit off, and then I think I will leave the video, because all I've done is talk about my fall in London, which is not very interesting or festive, is it, for you guys? So if it's your first time here, welcome. I can't imagine that you would have stuck around, to be fair, but maybe you did, I don't know. It's lovely to have you here if you're watching. I do really like to interact with people in the comments, and, you know, if you are doing this project, then share what you're doing. It'd be really nice to see what you're doing. And yeah, I will look forward to seeing you on the next one, whenever I'm able to do that. And we've got quite a few videos that I need to do. I've got a list, I've got a little book that I write everything in for my YouTube, what I want to record, and deck the halls. I'm just going to do that because that's not going to be so I've got quite a few things that I want to share. But I will get around to it. It's not comfortable for me sitting in this sort of position for a huge amount of time at the minute, unfortunately. Sitting in this kind of chair, I just have to keep moving around and be where it's comfortable. I'm also trying not to seize up, but you know how it is. You just do what you can, don't you? I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody actually that I have recently been following. I think she found me. She found one of my videos, and she's recently started her own channel, and she's really lovely. The reason I thought about her is because I was talking about pain, and I know she lives with a lot of pain, and she's looking to grow her channel and meet, you know, some new people that, you know, would like to chat and like to stitch and craft and, you know, sort of have a friendship over the internet. So Her name is Lisa and her channel is Lisa's Hearts and Crafts. I'll link it in the description below. But please go over and have a look at her videos and give her some encouragement and say hello. She's really lovely. But yeah, that's all from me today. I will be back probably tomorrow because I want to get on with doing these, and I also want to get the videos uploaded and help me move on to the next section. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.